All right, folks, it's our featured day of the week, Armageddon. This is giant set number 1. Starting off with a seated shoulder press. You're lowering down with the wrist stacked right over the elbow at 45 degrees to the shoulder, 90 degrees to the elbow for the most part, and your full extension over the shoulder and then lowering down with control just to about shoulder height, just below. And you're exhaling on that press up and inhaling on that lowering phase, keeping that chest nice and puffy, high on your shoulder blades. Lat raises, so standing, shoulders down and back. You're leading with the elbow, soft elbow bend, extended arm just to shoulder height, keeping that chest nice and lifted, and raising those dumbbells up by your sides or slightly in the front, with the palms facing down. And soft knee bend on this stance. Same thing here, again, set that up, shoulders down and back, chest lifted, and lowering down on a 3-count phase, exhaling as you drive it up for 1 count, and then lower down with control, making sure those elbows stay right by your side and the shoulders are not rounding forward or that your trunk is moving. It should be relatively stable there, core braced. Then here you've got a narrow grip chest press, focusing a little bit more on the anterior delts, triceps, and palms are facing in, neutral grip. You're basically raking those elbows along the rib cage and making sure that wrist is stacked right over elbow, 90 degrees, and then firing up over the shoulder. Good. Check in with that wrist alignment as well. Then you've got giant set number 2, starting off with a kneeling Arnold press. So knee over ankle, back toe can be tucked for a little bit more stability. That back hip should be underneath your shoulder. You're starting with your palms facing you at the upper chest, and then it rotates and opens up, palms facing forward, and then rotates back around and down to where palms are facing you. Again, check in with that wrist, that neutral wrist alignment. And exhaling on that drive up. You can alternate the leg placement, the split stance. Then here you've got a seated reverse fly or pec deck fly, reverse fly. Chest is lifted. You can sit right up tall or you can lean up against the pad, but it is a soft elbow bend coming to in line with those shoulders and then drawing in front of the shoulders and then squeezing those shoulder blades at the tail end on that open position. Then here you've got preacher curls, single arm. You want to sit up nice and tall on that seat. You want to press into that pad and maintain that upper arm stable. Check in with that shoulder, make sure he's down and back, and palm faces up. Soft elbow bend at the bottom. Here you've got a seated overhead tricep extension. So you're cupping the dumbbell and you want to lower it down to that about 90 degree position and then full extension over the shoulder. Want to keep that chest nice and tall and want to keep that elbow stacked over the shoulder. If there's any shoulder restrictions, then you would take it to a tricep kickback. Giant set number 3 starts off with an alternating front raise. You want to think neutral grip, palm faces in, soft elbow bend, chest up nice and tall, lowering down with control, 3 counts, and then driving it up for 1. And you're driving slightly towards the midline of the body on that front raise. And again, soft knee bend, chest up nice and tall. Then here you've got a face pull. You can do 2-footed stance or a split stance to secure your position. It's a slight lean away to counter the weight. And you're drawing the elbows back, drawing the handles towards the ears, and you're squeezing the shoulder blades at the tail end and drawing the ends of the rope toward those ears. Slow and controlled on that return, extending the arms and then driving back. Here you've got a split stance overhead rope extension. So you want to anchor that torso, becomes a serious core exercise here to stabilize that position. And then bending the elbows 90 degrees, full extension of the arms. You want to maintain those elbows in line with the shoulders, not flaring out. And you want to make sure that you're lowering down with control and that full extension. That upper arm doesn't move. Here you've set up a bilateral cable curl, chest is nice and tall. You're drawing the palms toward the ears, and you want to maintain that upper arm nice and stable, shoulders down and back. That torso stabilizing the position, upright, head and neck in alignment, and that contraction at the top. Then you've got alternating day bug. So you want to think extending the arm and leg in opposition, and slow and controlled on that descent, inhale, and then exhale on its return. Here you've got a plank punch. So set up those shoulders right over the elbows, and you really want to keep those quads pulled up, pushing those heels back, maintaining those hips nice and square as you extend the arm. Think about palm facing in and punch straight ahead, and really work on keeping those shoulders and hips nice and square. Here, the legs are extended just off the ground, and you're coming into a reverse crunch with a hip lift. So you're driving the hips off the ground and then extending the legs with control, and the upper torso stays on the ground. If you need more back support, you might want to pull the head and upper back off the ground, or keep the legs bent at 90 degrees the entire time, or eliminate the hip lift. And then you've got a plank hinge to alternating toe reach. So set up that plank, shoulders over wrist, feet hip width apart. And as you hinge at the hips, sending the hips up toward the ceiling, you're going to reach with the opposite hand towards the shin and then reset it back into that plank position. And again, even if you don't touch, just allow it to be a reach towards the shin or ankle.